what really happened at one of the most glamorous celebrity weddings of the decade? And why is the fallout still shaking one of the world's most famous families years later? A night meant to celebrate love between Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz has somehow turned into a story of hurt feelings, public accusations, and a family rift now playing out in front of millions. And right in the center of the chaos, music superstar Marc Anthony, a close family friend who never expected to be dragged into the drama. Now, after months of rumors, emotional social media posts, and fans picking sides online, Anthony has finally broken his silence and says the story everyone thinks they know is hardly the truth. So what actually happened on that dance floor, and why did it change everything? The night was supposed to be perfect, but one unexpected moment would end up haunting the Beckham family for years. Back in 2022, Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz's wedding was billed as the ultimate celebrity fairy tale. A lavish Florida ceremony, a star-studded guest list, cameras everywhere, and music legend Marc Anthony personally performing to celebrate the couple's first dance as husband and wife. But according to stories that later surfaced, what happened next shocked guests in the room. Reports claim Brooklyn and Nicola were preparing for their romantic first dance when Anthony suddenly changed course on stage. Instead of inviting the bride, he reportedly called out, "The most beautiful woman in the room tonight, Victoria Beckham," bringing Brooklyn's mother onto the dance floor instead. Sources later told media outlets that the mood in the room shifted instantly. Guests allegedly didn't know whether to cheer or stay silent. Some even said you could hear a pin drop. And rumors suggest Nicola was left stunned, with some guests claiming she stepped off the floor in tears as the spotlight moved away from the bride on what was supposed to be her big moment. At the time, it was brushed off publicly as a harmless misunderstanding. But years later, Brooklyn would claim that this exact moment left him feeling embarrassed and uncomfortable, turning what should have been a joyful memory into something far more complicated. And as the story began resurfacing online, fans started asking a booger question. Was this really just an innocent mix-up, or the first public crack in a family conflict nobody knew was brewing? But that dance floor drama was only the beginning. Just when fans thought the wedding drama was old news, Brooklyn Beckham suddenly reopened the wounds, and this time he didn't hold back. In a series of emotional social media posts last month, Brooklyn shocked followers by claiming the tension inside his famous family had been building long before the wedding ever happened. According to him, the problems didn't start on the dance floor. They'd been simmering behind closed doors for years. He alleged that his parents had been trying to interfere with his relationship with Nicola even before they got married, claiming the pressure and tension never really stopped. Then came another explosive claim. Brooklyn said his mother, Victoria Beckham, originally agreed to design Nicola's wedding dress, only to cancel at the very last moment, forcing the bride-to-be to scramble for a replacement just weeks before the ceremony. And the accusations didn't end there. Brooklyn also claimed his parents repeatedly pressured him to sign away rights connected to his own name and brand. When he refused, he suggested the dynamic between them changed completely, saying he was never treated the same afterward. For fans who grew up seeing the Beckhams as the picture-perfect celebrity family, the revelations were shocking. Social media exploded, with some supporters backing Brooklyn for speaking his truth, while others accused him of airing private family matters in public. And then he dropped the claim that truly set the internet on fire. According to Brooklyn, the dance moment at his wedding didn't just feel awkward, it felt humiliating. And once those words hit the internet, there was no turning back. But the version of events circulating online wasn't the only story being told, and soon, entirely different accounts began to emerge. The moment Brooklyn's accusations went public, the internet did what it always does. It picked sides, dissected every rumor, and turned one wedding dance into a global debate. Clips, guest accounts, and anonymous insider stories started flooding social media, each offering a slightly different version of what happened that night. Brooklyn claimed his mother stepping in during the dance left him feeling deeply uncomfortable and embarrassed in front of hundreds of guests. But then, reports from other attendees began telling a completely different story. Sources speaking to entertainment outlets claimed Brooklyn was already on stage when Marc Anthony called Victoria up, saying it was meant as a playful, celebratory mother-son moment, not an interruption. Some insiders even suggested the situation was misunderstood in the chaos of a live performance and emotional wedding atmosphere. Still, rumors suggest the reaction inside the room was tense. One guest reportedly claimed the mood shifted instantly, while another said Nicola appeared upset as attention moved away from the couple during what should have been their spotlight moments. Online, fans were split. Some argued Nicola and Brooklyn were right to feel hurt, saying weddings are emotional and moments like that matter. Others defended Victoria, saying the entire situation was blown out of proportion and unfairly painted her as the villain. And as debate exploded across TikTok, Instagram, and gossip blogs, one person found himself unexpectedly dragged into the crossfire. Marc Anthony, the man who made the announcement that night, suddenly became a central figure in a drama he never intended to be part of. And after months of silence, he finally decided to speak. For months, Marc Anthony stayed completely silent, even as his name kept popping up every time the wedding drama resurfaced online. But now, the music icon is finally addressing the controversy, and his response has only added more mystery to the situation. In a recent interview, Anthony made it clear he wants no part in the family feud. He reminded everyone that his connection to the Beckhams goes back decades, long before headlines and rumors ever existed. He's known David and Victoria since their kids were little, and he's even godfather to their son Cruz, making the situation far more personal than people might realize. Yet, when asked directly about the wedding dance incident, Anthony carefully chose his words. He said he had nothing to say about what was happening inside the family, calling them a wonderful family, and adding that it was unfortunate how the situation was playing out publicly. But the line that really caught attention came next. Anthony said the way events are being portrayed right now is hardly the truth. And that single sentence sent fans into speculation mode. Was he hinting at the story being told online is incomplete, protecting the family's privacy, or suggesting there's a whole side to the situation the public still doesn't know? Whatever the answer, Anthony made it clear he wasn't going to reveal more, leaving the internet to fill in the blanks on its own. And while the public argued over what truly happened, Brooklyn and Nicola were quietly dealing with the emotional aftermath of the wedding that was supposed to mark the happiest day of their lives. And according to reports, the couple felt they needed a fresh start. Behind the glamorous photos and red carpet smiles, reports claim the emotional impact of that wedding night didn't just fade away for Brooklyn and Nicola. It lingered. According to Brooklyn's own posts, what should have been the happiest memory of their lives slowly became tied to stress, embarrassment, and unresolved tension. Instead of remembering their first dance and celebration with joy, the couple allegedly found themselves constantly reminded of the controversy and the arguments that followed. And that's when another surprising detail surfaced. Brooklyn revealed that he and Nicola even talked about renewing their vows, not because their marriage was in trouble, but because they wanted a chance to create new wedding memories, untouched by drama. A fresh start, a ceremony focused only on them, without distractions or emotional baggage attached. Fans online reacted strongly to that revelation. Some sympathized, saying every couple deserves a peaceful wedding memory. Others felt the situation was being exaggerated, arguing that family misunderstandings happen at many weddings, but rarely spiral into public feuds. Still, rumors suggest the distance between Brooklyn and parts of his family hasn't fully healed, with insiders claiming certain gatherings remain tense or carefully managed to avoid conflict. None of this has been officially confirmed, but speculation continues to grow each time the family appears separately at major events. And as people kept asking how things fell apart so quickly, another question started to surface. Was this drama really about one dance, or was something much bigger happening behind the scenes involving fame, business, and control? Because insiders say the real tension might run far deeper than anyone realized. And that's when fans began looking beyond the wedding drama, wondering if the real conflict had less to do with dancing and more to do with power, fame, and control behind the scenes. The Beckham name isn't just famous, it's a global brand worth millions. David and Victoria built an empire spanning fashion, sports, endorsements, and media. Growing up inside that spotlight meant Brooklyn was never just another celebrity kid. He was part of a carefully managed public image from childhood. Now, reports claim Brooklyn has been trying to step out of that shadow and build his own identity, especially after marrying Nicola, who also comes from a powerful and wealthy family background. Some online observers speculate that tensions grew as Brooklyn began making independent choices about his career, branding, and future, decisions that may not have aligned with family expectations. There's also speculation, though unverified, that disagreements over business opportunities and use of the Beckham name created deeper friction. Fans online debate whether Brooklyn felt controlled or whether his parents were simply trying to protect the family legacy they spent decades building. And as often happens in celebrity feuds, Nicola herself became a target of speculation. Some critics accused her of pulling Brooklyn away from his family, while supporters argued she was being unfairly blamed for problems that likely existed long before she entered the picture. The truth, of course, is known only to those inside the family. But what's clear is that this story seems far bigger than one awkward wedding moment. And now, as months pass without public reconciliation, fans are left wondering, is this rift permanent, or could the Beckham family still find a way back to each other? Because where things stand today paints a complicated picture. Now, months after the accusations and interviews sent shockwaves through celebrity news, the Beckham family drama appears to be stuck in an uneasy silence. David and Victoria Beckham have largely avoided addressing the controversy publicly, choosing instead to keep their focus on work and public appearances. But fans can't help noticing subtle signs online: fewer shared family moments, separate appearances at events, and carefully worded posts that seem to avoid stirring the situation further. Meanwhile, Brooklyn and Nicola continue presenting a united front, frequently sharing affectionate moments on social media, signaling that whatever storm surrounded their wedding only strengthened their bond. Still, rumors suggest certain family gatherings remain complicated, with insiders claiming reconciliation efforts have been slow and delicate. None of this has been officially confirmed, of course, and celebrity families often deal with private issues away from cameras. But because the Beckhams have always been seen as one of entertainment's most close-knit clans, even small signs of distance spark massive speculation. And fans continue to ask the same lingering question: was this simply a misunderstanding that spiraled out of control under the spotlight? Or are there deeper wounds still waiting to heal? Because when family conflict becomes public entertainment, repairing those relationships becomes far harder than anyone expects. And that leaves the story at a crossroads, with the final chapter still unwritten. In the end, what makes this story so gripping isn't just celebrity gossip. It's the reminder that even the most famous families deal with hurt, misunderstandings, and emotional moments that cameras can't fully capture. A wedding meant to celebrate love somehow became the center of a family storm. A legendary singer found himself pulled into a controversy he never intended to spark. And a son publicly questioned the people the world thought he was closest to. Whether this all came from a simple misunderstanding that spiraled out of control, or deeper issues that had been building quietly for years, only the people involved truly know. Marc Anthony says the version of events circulating is hardly the truth. Brooklyn insists the pain was real, and the Beckhams themselves remain mostly silent, leaving fans to connect the dots on their own. But maybe the bigger question now is whether time can heal wounds that have played out in front of millions. Will the family eventually reconcile behind closed doors, away from headlines and speculation? Or has too much already been said publicly to fully repair the damage? One thing is certain, this story isn't over yet. And as new details surface, fans around the world will keep watching, wondering what really happened on that dance floor and what happens next. So, what do you think? Was this all blown out of proportion, or did that wedding night reveal deeper cracks in the Beckham family? Let us know your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe because the next twist in this story might arrive sooner than anyone expects.